You might crochet as a hobby or a job, but there are times that being able to crochet faster has real benefits. And it doesn't matter if you are a beginner trying to learn how to speed up a little bit, or if you just need to finish a project really fast. The tips that I have today will be very useful for you. Hi guys, I am Bianca and welcome back to Crocheniacs. In today's video, I have 7 strategies that will help you accelerate your crochet projects without compromising the quality of your work. But before we dive into 7 tips, of course I have to say that the best way to get better at something is to practice. We all know that. But the way that we practice is utterly important. So the main thing that I want to tell you before we focus on the tips is that don't force it. Just relax, focus on your work, and be patient and kind to yourself. I see beginners trying to make their second amigurumi super fast, but if you start forcing it, you might tension your muscles too much, your shoulders, you start to feel pain in your arms, so you create the opposite effect that will slow you down. So tip number 1, when my grandmother taught me how to crochet, she taught me how to do the knife hold with the crochet hook, because this is the way that she prefers to hold the crochet hook. But the truth is, there is no right or wrong in the way that you do that. I mean, one is not faster than the other. It turns out that the way that I prefer to hold the crochet hook is the pencil hold. And this one is what actually makes me crochet even faster. And even when we consider these two methods, you might want to change a little bit the position of your fingers and things like that, because this can also affect how fast you can crochet. So I strongly recommend you try and experiment different positions with your hand and the crochet hook, because you might find a way that is the best for you and suits you better. So as I was saying, there are different ways to hold the crochet hook. The one that is comfortable for me and that makes me crochet faster is this one, the pencil hold. I hold the crochet hook like this, and this is the way that makes me crochet faster. If I change like the position of my fingers, it starts to slow me down because I'm already used to crochet like this. I do that way, there's been ages. And the knife hold, the way that I told you my grandmother crochets, is like this. I know lots of people who like to crochet in this style, but honestly, I have to concentrate a lot and put lots of effort into crocheting like this, especially when I'm using a thin yarn like this to crochet small amigurumis. Yeah, it's not very good. I can see that my stitches start to be a bit looser, simply because my tension is not very good with this type of knife hold. This is not the way that I'm used to do. While if I change it like this, it gets way faster. But just so you know, just so you know, this crochet hook that I'm using is a 2.2 millimeter crochet hook size from Tulip, and this yarn here is the one that I'm a huge fan. It's France Cotton Mercerized from Hobby. But it also depends on the type of the crochet hook, because this one here that I have from Prim, yeah, I don't know if this is the way to pronounce the name of the brand, but this is an 8 millimeter crochet hook size, and just the style of this crochet hook is not very comfortable for me to crochet with the pencil hold the way that I like to do when I'm crocheting amigurumis. I crocheted some dolls with this crochet hook here, and for this type of knife hold was way better and way faster for me. So I guess it depends on the type of the crochet hook that you're using too, but all the crocheters that I know have like a favorite style, the pencil or the knife hold, and you should test different yarns, crochet hooks to check which one is more comfortable for you. And since we are talking about the crochet hooks, My tip number 2 is regarding the crochet hook material. And also find a crochet hook that you like. It's not about the price, okay? It doesn't mean that the most expensive ones are the best. And just to show you, I have lots of different materials here, and this yellow one here, I crocheted with this crochet hook for almost 4 years. This was very cheap. It is a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook size from the brand Circulo. And at the beginning, I didn't think that the crochet hook would make such a big difference. I wanted to save my money, and I was like, this one, just so you have an idea, I paid like the equivalent to $3. It was very, very cheap. And I was like, the metal or the rubber part, this will not make any difference. I wanted to save my money, and I crocheted with this crochet hook for 4 years. But after, as I said, 4 years, I started to receive lots of orders, people ordering lots of amigurumis. I needed to crochet faster, so I bought my first clover crochet hook, which was way more expensive. It was like, I said that the yellow one would be the equivalent to $3, so the clover one in Brazil, back then I was in Brazil, it would be the equivalent to $12 to $15, something like that. And guys, it made a huge difference. I started to crochet so much faster, simply because this metal part here from the clover crochet hooks slides smoothly through the yarn. It's amazing. And nowadays, to be honest again, this clover crochet hook is not even my favorite. If you're not new here in the channel, you have probably seen that this tulip is my favorite crochet hook ever. I have the complete set. And I'm a fan of this crochet hook. But I don't want to focus on the differences between crochet hooks here in this video. I just want to tell you that there are different materials, like I have this one that it's only metal, there is no rubber. So this was one of the first ones that I bought, very cheap. This one was my first crochet hook ever. A friend of mine gave this one, and the rubber is like very hard. It's not very ergonomic. I don't like it that much. The plastic one, which I never crocheted amigurumis with that. I only crocheted bags for me. And my husband bought this one because he knows how to crochet, and he gave me a bag, a very beautiful one, as a present, and he crocheted with this crochet hook here. And this is one of his favorites, for example. It's all about it's a matter of preference. So as I said, there are lots of different materials, and I don't have this huge amount of crochet hooks with me because, well, I do value the money that I have, and I won't spend my money like this unless someone wants to give me to try and to test. That's okay. But otherwise, if I have the tulip set and that's enough, I like that one, I won't purchase any other crochet hook, just so you know. But there are plastic, metal, bamboo, there are lots of different materials, and there is no right or wrong. The correct one is the one that will fit in your hands and will be the best for you. As I said, my husband likes to crochet with the plastic one, but for me they're awful. I don't like this. So you should try and experiment to see which one is the best for you. I never recommend for a beginner to buy a whole set of crochet hooks, and I say it since I started crocheting, because you don't know what will be the best crochet hook for you. You don't know what's the type of amigurumis that you want to crochet. So buy one crochet hook. If you like it, you can buy the others from the set. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. And please let me know here in the comments if you'd like me to create a review of crochet hooks. Write down in the comments the word hook so I know that this is a topic that interests you. Moving on to tip number 3, I do have the expertise to talk about this topic. I suffered from hyperidrosis in my hands. I was born with this condition, and I still have this in other parts of my body. This is awful. In case you have never heard of it, hyperidrosis is excessive sweat in some specific parts of the body. As I said, in my case, it's my hands and my feet, and this is not something related to the weather, heat, or how much you exercise, for example. It happens all the time, and you may sweat so much that it soaks through your clothes and your hands. It's something really bad, actually. I remember when I was a kid, the pages of my notebook from school, they were always shrunk because I was writing, and my hands were always sweaty, and it doesn't matter if you dry them with a towel because it sweats all the time. So my notebook was awful, and I didn't shake people's hand until I was like 22. I did the surgery when I was 23 years old. It was one of the best things that I could have ever done to me, because before that, I suffered lots of embarrassment because of that. It's awful. People want to shake your hands and you feel this embarrassment and anxiety every time you meet a new person and you know that this person is going to shake your hands. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't shake people's hands. It was better to say that, because if the person touched my hands, they would be like, oh, what happened? It was awful. But now it's dry. Thank God I did the surgery. I'm better. But as I said, I still have this condition in all the parts of my body. So I'm telling you this because it was almost impossible for me to do any kind of handcraft before the surgery. I tried embroidery when I was a kid and making jewelry with beads and things like that. I've always liked, since I was a kid, I always enjoyed making handcraft stuff, and it is a huge part of who I am. But sweaty hands can make it really challenging. And why am I telling you all this story? Because having dry hands can really speed up your work when you're holding a crochet hook. And even now, after my surgery that I already have, and thank God for that, I have my dry hands. When the day is too humid or hot, I put some talcum powder so my hands will be dry and the crochet hook will not slide through my hands. So if you're one of these people who love to keep your hands moisturized, I would say that keep the lotion for after you finish your crochet projects, because I'm telling you, dry hands equals speed. Tip number 4, keep your yarn under control. I already mentioned all the benefits of doing it, but pulling your yarn from the center can be a huge time saver. If you use the yarn from outside, this is what happens. It keeps rolling and you waste your time by having to stop every few seconds to unwrap more yarn to continue your project. So what you should do to try to find this tip of the yarn inside the ball like this. I put my 2 fingers like this inside the ball of yarn and try to find where it is. Oh, it was here. Very easy. So, and this was my first time doing it with this yarn here. This is Mati Yarns. This yarn is from Portugal. Very good quality, by the way, but I took a new skein of yarn just to do this with you. And this one was easy. Sometimes when you try to find the middle of the yarn, a big ball of yarn like this comes out of it. We call it yarn barf. And please don't be upset if that happens to you, because this is totally normal. Using the yarn from the middle is like one of the best ways to save your time. Another possibility to keep your yarn under control, which is also my tip number 5, is to use a yarn holder like this one. This one I bought in a local store here in Finland, but I've seen this sort of material in Amazon, AliExpress, so there are lots of websites that sell those yarn holders. I'll leave a link in the description for some beautiful ones that I found on the internet. This one I paid €6 in Flying Tiger, which I know that this store exists in other places here in Europe. But this type of ball is really interesting because it prevents the yarn from rolling in your carpet while you're crocheting and having to pick it up all the time. And moving on, one of the things that I took for granted when I started crocheting, and maybe I took for granted because I was way younger than I am now, is to sit comfortably while you're crocheting. I honestly thought that it wouldn't make a difference, but believe me, it does, especially after a while that you start crocheting for longer periods of time. I received this cushion here from a company called The Vality. They contacted me offering me to send this cushion pillow to test and to check the efficiency of this product to crochet. And to be completely honest, when they sent me the message, I saw the videos and their advertisement about the product. I really didn't think it would make such a difference, so I tested for a couple of weeks before making a review and telling people about it. There's been 3 or 4 months that I have this pillow. I chose the color because, you know, I love yellow, and I chose the Alice here in the embroidery, which is a character that I really love from a movie that I really enjoy. So yeah, after I tested for a few weeks, and I've been using this pillow for, like, as I said, a couple of months, I would say that this is truly helpful. Honestly, I usually don't feel pain in my shoulders, but I do feel in my forearms and my neck if I crochet for hours straight. This pillow helped me to keep a better posture for 2 main reasons. The first one is that my arms are not loose, so I don't have to make an extra effort. I simply rest my arms in the pillow, so that way I feel more relaxed and I avoid tensioning my arms. The second reason is regarding the neck. Whenever I am crocheting in the sofa, watching a movie, I tend to put my head down like this, but when using the pillow, I raise my head a little bit more, avoiding neck pain. If you want to check a little bit more about this company, the Valerie, and you want to have such a beautiful pillow like mine, I will leave the link here in the description down below. But just so you know, this pillow is very similar to those maternity pillows that mothers use to breastfeed their babies. I don't have children, but my sister-in-law, she does have one of those. So maybe you already have one of those at home and you didn't know that it could be used for other purposes. Tip number 7 is interesting because you'll only believe me if you start doing it like after this video. And I'm telling you this based on my own experience and based on things that I heard from other people and also my mother. My mom doesn't know how to crochet, she likes knitting, and she always tells me that too. Whenever I'm crocheting with my mobile phone next to me, I get easily distracted with notifications, messages, or your mind simply wanders in different topics and you remind to check your phones for some useless information like, when is the next Disney movie going to be released? And it happens more often than you think. So every time that I need to speed up on a project, I simply leave my phone aside or I put it facing down on the table so I don't see alarms and notifications popping up all the time. And that way you don't stop easily while you're crocheting. But now I'd love to hear from you. What other tips do you have to help others start to crochet even faster? Please write down in the comments below because I'm looking forward to see your comments. And I'll leave you this other video here because I am pretty sure you'll like it too.